welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Aquarius. Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of November. I hope you are well. I'm using the Crow Tarot for you today. So let's get straight on with this and see what is going on with you. Can I have 3 cards for Aquarius, please? We have the Six of Swords in your recent past. Current energy, please. Oh, thank you. We have the Six of Cups. Interesting. And what's coming towards Aquarius? Thank you. We have the Ace of Swords. That's very welcome, I think, for you. I felt a sense of relief as soon as I saw it there. We've got the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck there. I wonder if the sense of relief is because, I don't know, you seem to be a bit stuck here with these 2 cards. I mean, I feel like I'd rather see them come out the other way around. I'll go with the Triple Goddess to clarify. Because the Six of Swords is movement. It's moving away from something. But then in your current energy, you seem to be certainly contemplating the past again. And that's that kind of get so far, come back again. Get so far, come back again. But let's get some clarifiers and see what this means. Tell me about this Six of Swords, please. Oh, thank you. There's 1. We have the Ten of Cups. And we have another 2. We have the Four of Pentacles and we have the Chariot. Yeah. Okay. Tell me about the Six of Cups, please. Thank you. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the King of Wands. It's Leo energy there. And where is this Ace of Swords here? Wow. Okay, so we have Leo and Pisces with Strength and the Hanged Man. And we also have the Ace of Pentacles. This looks like it's going to be quite a good month for you. We've got the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. Now, I think it would be fair to say that you are in a state of transition at the moment, right? We'll be able to say that enough with the Six of Swords, but the fact that the Six of Cups is up here as well, backwards and forwards, that's kind of how it feels. But I don't know, it feels a little bit more like it's a sorting phase rather than, say, a liminal state of transition from one thing to another. It's not quite happening as seamlessly as that. It's like there are lots of things that need to be sorted out in the interim. But November looks excellent. I'm going to pull that to one side for a second and come down to your recent past. And like I said, this is all about moving away from something. It's often because it's associated with movement, it can speak to physical movement. But I tend to find that, for me, this is very much more about mindset, right? It's about consciously letting something go and being like, I'm not actually prepared to be held back by this anymore. It follows on from the Five of Swords. And obviously the whole sword suit deals with the mind and the intellect, reason, rationality, sometimes with communication and stuff as well. But there's a definite sense of kind of moving away from something. Because the Five of Swords, right, that can often be a really difficult mental state that we find ourselves in, right? So when we get to the 6, it's like, actually, we've broken free of that. We've broken some sort of cycle and we are liberating ourselves, literally spreading our wings and letting fly. But it is very much about moving away rather than toward. And I think that this is an important distinction. We often see the Eight of Cups coming up alongside the Six of Swords. It's actually unfathomably frequent that those 2 cards come up together. But the Eight of Cups feels to me a little more about walking towards something rather than walking away. And this is definitely walking away. Now, whether this is a literal walking away that you have done from people or situations or a job or something like that, or whether this is more of an internal state for you where you've realised the Five of Swords is something that's been at play inside your own mind and now you've worked out what that means. Observation is processing and all that sort of thing. then what we've got is a breaking loose from that. But these clarifiers underneath are quite interesting, because we have the Ten of Cups, which is generally speaking quite a good card. It speaks to emotional support, it speaks to community, it speaks to more than just you. So it could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be your work colleagues. It generally less likely to be your work colleagues, to be honest. It's that hearth and home kind of feeling, right? The people that make you feel emotionally comfortable. So why it would be coming under something that is speaking about or moving away from. Possibly what we've got here is a state of comfort that is just a little bit too comfortable. I think maybe what you've realised is that with that Four of Pentacles there, that in some ways you've become quite complacent about the situation that you're in, and that realisation in and of itself seems to be the thing that is driving you forwards, because this Cancer card here of the Chariot is about determination, it's about success, it's about setting a goal for yourself and then going after it. Much as in the same way we've got movement with the Six of Swords and the Chariot together. This is more about having that end goal in mind. Those two cards though, they make me feel like you feel you've got a bit squishy in some way. That's the best way to describe the feeling that I've got, right? So take, for example, a lot of you know that I am a kickboxer, or at least have been a kickboxer. In the last 2 years, I have found my attendance at the gym has gone from the, 5 to 6 days a week that it was before to I'm lucky if I get there once a month. Now, I've gone from being very lean and very sporty to suddenly a little bit squishy around the middle, looking a bit more like a Pillsbury Doughboy than anything else, right? And we might be speaking literally just like that, or we might be speaking kind of metaphorically, but it's almost like you feel you've lost something that you had before. Not in the sense of a bereavement or, a loss of a relationship or anything like that, but something about you that was defined by was the cause of your determination, maybe your self-discipline, something like that, right? And that realization is like, holy shit, I need to get that back. That was really useful to me. I need to do more of that. But more so, you've worked out the reasons why everything's been a little bit too comfortable, and why you're holding on to it, why you have held on to it, why you've allowed it to happen in the first place. This whole reading feels to me like an energy of shaking things up, and so it makes more sense to me now why the Six of Cups would be here, because we have that initial realization with this set of cards here, and the memory of doing things differently to the way that you do them now, right? Doing them in the word that's coming up is edgy, which is really interesting, in an edgier way. Something a little bit closer to the extremes than the middle where you find yourself at the moment. It could well be physical. You could be looking at your physical health and being like, I used to be really fit, what happened? But it could be other things. It could be in a work situation. I used to be really hungry and ambitious, and do you know what? I've kind of lost that in the last 2 years, and I want it back, because that's how I progress. That's where my drive is, It feels like the rediscovery of your drive, actually, if I'm honest. So then when we move into your current energy of the Six of Cups, it would make sense that you were contemplating what it is in the past that has led to the situation that you are in right now, because nothing happens suddenly. Right? So I guess it was 2020 where I stopped going to the gym quite so much as I did. But I had a full year of still looking completely ripped before I started to spread everywhere, right? I'm just relating this to physicality because it's a really good example, but you've got to take it as it resonates to you. And for a lot of you, I don't think it's anything to do with physicality, but, we're talking thematically. it took a while for what I had worked to achieve to start to undo itself, right? And I feel it's the same way for you here. So it feels like you are, off the back of the realization that you've had, off the back of the epiphany that you've had, kind of looking back and going, where was the tipping point? Maybe there wasn't a single tipping point. Maybe it was just this slow descent. Maybe descent is a good word. Descent into stagnancy, complacency. Because we also have you considering this Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles is a really good card, generally speaking. It speaks of cooperation and collaboration, like working together to build things, with other people. It's got quite a lot to do with, then, by extension, goal setting and things like that, because you're working together with people to achieve a thing. It's showing up in the reverse here. And I wonder if it could be either, these are equally likely, it feels to me, that you have lost contact with people that you chose to try and build with, that you had been building with at some point, whether it was through friendship or, whatever. Or you've just kind of found yourself sucking up the energy of everybody else and becoming a bit more like everybody else. This King of Wands feels really very determined to change that. King of Wands is the active expression of the fire suit, right? It's all about the doing. It's about being energized. It's actually about being very physical. Potentially about being very sexual. We see that with the King of Wands too. But it's movement where there's been stasis. In whatever section of your life this applies. Tell me about this Three of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Ace of Cups. And we've got the Seven of Wands. The last 2 years, I've just got the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. The last 2 years have been a burden to everyone. And even those with the most positive mindset can't help but feel kind of kicked in by what's happened in the last 2 years. And I think complacency and comfort are two things that have snuck up on you, because we've been looking for our light in the darkness, right? We've been looking for those things that make us feel safe. And I think connection to other people has been quite a big part of that. But it seems to me a little bit like you feel like you've lost yourself somewhere along the line. And now you want it back. Yeah. Ten of Cups. Isn't to say that the people around you have been terrible or anything like that. I think it's been what you needed. But now that your outlook is starting to change, and now that, there's I wouldn't say normality is returning, but there's a certain amount of adjustment that we seem to have made to the new circumstances. This pursuit of self, of a sense of self, seems to have come right back up your priority list. And maybe you're searching for answers. Maybe you are kind of scanning your brain and being like, what the fuck happened? How did this go? All these sorts of things. But more important is the action that you take. You feel to me a lot like you are going after new things, but you're also trying to get back something that you personally let go of at some point in the last couple of years. Now, we've got a whacking great epiphany coming for you here in November. A clarity of thought, ordered thoughts perhaps, but a flash of great insight, I think, into how you can make things different, how you can change. Because personal development is totally highlighted here. We've got that Strength card and the card of Leo. which talks to our own sense of personal empowerment. And if you are looking back at a version of yourself that used to be, I don't know, hungry and ambitious, or used to be physically fit, or used to be quite comfortable in your own, with your own company, you know, where you had the space and the time to actually pursue the interests that you wanted. But over the last 2 years, that's kind of degenerated into, you know, nightly Netflix or whatever. Then it does become a state of personal empowerment to get rid of the things that are kind of making you spiritually flabby, or, you know, emotionally flabby, something like that, and totally change something, right? We've got the Hanged Man here. Change of perspective, yes, that is absolutely highlighted. But there's a change of something else too. Hang out this Hanged Man. Thank you. I've got the King of Pentacles. That's interesting. It's almost like what was important to you before has become almost more important now, because you had it and it went. But I see you changing a lot of things in November, not just because they need changing, right? And we would see something like, I don't know, the World, or we would see something like the Death card to speak to a complete transformation. Instead, what we've got is a transformation that is attached to physical growth, that is coming around as a result of you looking at things differently. And with these two cards here that both speak about hard work, Father of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, like there's an absolute knowledge that unless you apply yourself and take responsibility for this right now, this is not coming in, right? It's almost like you know exactly what it is that you have to do. The Eight of Pentacles can speak to your work environment, and that might well be something for some of you about it. Or it might be all of these things together. Be just looking around at your life and going, what happened? You know, where is my drive? Where is my ambition? Where is my desire to better myself at all points? Where have I been perhaps mired in drama for the last 2 years, to the degree that I've been just kind of waiting for the next thing to go wrong? And what has been missing is that methodical process that I use to improve myself. November's all about making a plan for you. And to be honest, with this final card here of the Ace of Pentacles appearing up, this could be opportunities that you are creating for yourself in any environment. You know, the Ace of Pentacles is often associated with a new house, a new job, some sort of improvement in your material circumstances. But whilst I associate the wands with health, really, and just general vitality, you can't really get away from the fact that the material, which is, you know, what the pentacles represent, would include your earthly body in that too. So it feels like everything is up for renewal. Now I'm going to bring you now to the shadow cards at the bottom of the deck. So we've got the Nine of Cups there, and I just want to point out something that I didn't see before, which is that you've got the King of Pentacles behind that. And then we also have the Ten of Pentacles here. Like, you're looking for opportunities to take things to a high level, right? So we've got Ten of Pentacles. That is material success. That can be job. That can be business. Can be a job, that can be business, that can be your home, but it's your security and your stability too. I think things have been so unstable and so insecure over the last couple of years that now bringing that into yourself seems to be the important thing here. It isn't necessarily about a new job or a new house. It's about the feeling of autonomy and self-sufficiency and self-reliance that having those things brings around for you. Does that make sense? I've just noticed we've got the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of this deck as well. And what we have here then is a redoubling of determination and effort in order to bring that around. You know, the Ace of Pentacles for me is often about that singular point of focus where you realise that you want something and you want it quite badly. You know, it's that whole thing of where attention goes, energy flows. And maybe your energy has been spread around far too much for quite a long time, and I see that disappearing, that spread. Now it's all about focus. Like I said, maybe things have been really traumatic for you, and that in and of itself has been enough to make you take your eye off the ball. But this Nine of Cups is about what you really want. It's about what makes you happy. And the Ten of Pentacles seems to be a huge part of that too, right? You want that stability, you want that security, but more importantly than anything else, you want to be providing it for yourself. You know, it feels a little bit like you've been woken up from sleep, where you were a little bit groggy before. Suddenly things are happening and you're like, oh, I'm waking up. Oh, holy shit, I've got things I need to do. And I have to do them. November is the start of all of this happening, which is amazing because it means results won't be too far behind. If you've got an ace of any description at all, what you want is the king of that suit to be wielding it, because that's the active expression of that energy, right? So consider the ace to be a seed, and then you know, the king of that suit being the one who is going to wield whatever that seed produces. To go from the ace to the 8 to the 10 twice means that the results of your labours won't be very far behind. You know, it's not going to be instant, because nothing to do with the Pentacles is ever instant. It's the slowest moving energy in the tarot. But this is about making plans, and this is about committing to making those plans, committing to the plans that you have made, and flipping everything around. This is very interesting. I'm feeling very motivated on your behalf, actually, looking at this. It's wonderful. Right, I'm going to go over to Vimeo now. We're going to look at November in some depth. If you would like to join me over there, the link is in the description box. You could alternatively come and join my circle community. It's a fab group of people hanging out there. The link for that is also in the description box. But if neither of those apply, what I was going to say was, like, don't be too hard on yourself for what has gone before. But I actually don't think that you're going to be. I think that your focus is so singular at this point that any notion of kicking yourself about the fact that you've lost something of yourself is going to disappear. It's more about the focus on bringing it back. Maybe bringing it back in a more improved version than you had it before. Who knows? This is very positive. So just keep doing what you're doing. And when you feel that pull towards something, like, really go for it, Aquarius, whatever it is. Because it's time to push yourself out of the comfort zone that you've been sat in for a while. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.